The Cottonwood County Citizen proudly presents Athlete of the Week. Brought to you this week by Expressway, featuring deli specials and delicious broaster chicken. New name, same great location. Expressway on Highway 6071 in Windham. I'm joined right now by Red Rock Central senior Dalton Piotter, our Athlete of the Week this week. Congratulations, Dalton.
Thanks.
Let's go back to Monday's meet in Windham, and Windham's a speed course, and you got off to a really fast start, and really the pace of the race seemed to be in your favor the entire time. Tell me about what running at Windham is like compared to running at other courses.
Well, running at Windham is easier than other courses because for the majority it's pretty flat and there's no real big hills or anything that you have to worry about. But there's kind of a problem area for the path that's all gravel. If you have spikes, it's kind of hard to run on there. But if you run on the edge on the grass, then it's pretty good as long as you don't get too far where it's slanted. So It's a pretty fast course all around just because it's super flat.
I know that there was a Springfield kid that early on in the race was trying to keep pace with you. How is it for you working off of a competitor like that?
I prefer to race against people who I know are better than me because then it kind of pushes me to go faster. Because if there's somebody who is going to be a minute or half a minute behind me, then it's kind of I want to push and get ahead of them, at least for most of the race. Maybe in the beginning they'll stick with me for a little bit, but then kind of push further away from them and keep going further. So then that way I don't get into their pace and then kind of go a little slower for my overall pace.
And it's not really surprising that your best times this season have come in the meets where you've run against Worthington with the Kohler kid. Basically you in Mountain Lake you set the pace, and then he caught up, and then down there on his home course he kind of went out and set the pace a little bit.
Yep.
Running cross country is a little bit of a new experience for you after last year. What was the biggest thing that you gained out of last season that you were able to transfer into this season?
Last season, everything was new. It was the first time I did cross country, so I kind of learned the ropes and learned how it was different. Because normally before, all I had done was the mile and 2 mile and track, and sometimes the 800. And so I wasn't really used to going 3 miles. And I noticed that for the people that would stick with me and beat me in track for the 2 mile and the mile, then in cross country, the last mile, I sort of started pulling away from them more and more. And I noticed I had more endurance to push throughout the race, and I kind of lasted longer out there running than for a normal track meet. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
Of course, you run on the Mountain Lake area team, and you've gotten to know the Mountain Lake guys pretty well, and I imagine that just the bonding that you guys have been able to do in the off season, you really didn't have that going into last season. This season, I saw you and Ryan hanging out at the fair, for instance. Being able to spend time with your teammates and get to know them a little bit better, but also to get to work with them a little bit in the off season. I imagine that has been a big factor this season.
Yeah, and I'd say cross country is my favorite sport. Not because I like running, but more because of the team aspect. And a lot of people think that cross country is individual because everyone just runs their own race. But it's actually a really big team sport, and how the team does and how the team works together. And there's also a lot of sportsmanship between the other teams as well. And you get to know not only the people on your own team, but people from other teams. And all around, it's just a really fun sport if you like to hang out with people and make new friends.
Mm-hmm. You guys competed at the state meet last year. How valuable was that experience, and how did that influence your summer workouts?
That experience kind of made us want to work together more like a team in the summer. So a few of us got together and would run in the summer when we were able to, and just whoever for varsity really. Like sometimes we'd run with the guys, or sometimes it'd be a mixture of guys and girls.
Mm-hmm.
Just whoever from our team was able to run, and then it kind of brought us closer together as a team. So we wanted to work together more and work harder together.
And cross country is a sport really unlike a lot of sports in that the work that you do in the off season really shows as the season goes on. Rough guesstimate, how many miles did you run this off season?
I think I ran well, it was over 300. I think it might have been like 350 about.
I imagine for you guys, all eyes are kind of on that Duluth meet because that is a real bonding experience for you guys, and it's a course unlike anything that you see around here.
Yeah, the Duluth meet is always really fun because we go up there in one big bus together, and then we get to stay at a hotel and go swimming with all the people from cross country, and some of them we don't get to hang out with as much because we all have different schedules. So then we get to just spend the whole time together. And then for the course up there, I don't know how it is normally, but last year it was super muddy and just a real mess. And there were spots where it was so muddy people were losing their shoes in the grass, and you'd step down in a little valley area and your foot would sink up to your ankle.
Tough to run in that.
Yeah. I'd have to say in cross country in Duluth, when one of my teammates ended up losing their shoe in the muddy area that I talked about earlier. I don't really listen to music. My toughest opponent for right now, I'd have to say, is the Kohler kid from Worthington. Fun and outgoing once I get to know people. Kind of maybe a little shy at the beginning, but once we get past that, then I'm pretty outgoing. I like to help out on the family farm and hang out with friends, maybe watch some Netflix, just typical things that teenagers do, I guess. And I also participate in drama and theater and that area.
And of course, you're a senior this year. Have you started looking at schools?
Yep, I'm thinking either the U of M Twin Cities or the U of W Madison.
And what kind of program?
Microbiology. I'm going to major in microbiology, and then I want to minor in virology.
All right. Well, that should be all we need. Congratulations again, and thanks for joining us.
Thanks.
Brought to you this week by Expressway, featuring deli specials and delicious broaster chicken. New name, same great location. Expressway on Highway 6071 in Windham.